Good morning and welcome back to today's lecture on Management Information Systems. My name is Adiata Warisa Seni, and today we are going to look at information communication technology, which would focus on the enterprise. So today we are going to look at information systems for enterprise. By the end of this lecture, we should be able to explain the roles that financial and asset management information systems play in an organization and its importance. We should also be able to define human capital management, identify its major components, and describe several metrics that will be used to quantify some aspects of human capital. And we should be also able to define supply chain management and describe the matrix and information systems that supply chain supports. We'll also look at the customer relationship management and how information system supports it. Lastly, we also take a look at or be able to explain the importance of enterprise resource planning, which is the ERP systems, and describe how they are created and integrated and also implemented. So looking at the finance management, we have account payables, account receivables, procurement, we have budget planning and asset management. All these, looking at the general ledger, all these are examples of models typically that are included in a full-featured financial management system. Beyond those other systems, it may support many related activities that process, such as the collection, the data management, travel and expense management, and other management platforms. Integration among these models is especially important to avoid inconsistencies. For example, details from account receivables and account payable transactions should automatically update in the general ledger to streamline reconciliation and consistent reporting. So the integrations of these components support the development of a streamlined and paperless workflow in an organization. And humans are part of the workflow, making decisions. It comes down to approving actions and confirming the steps in process. And when we look at HCM, which also stands for human capital management, it encompasses of all the activities and information systems that support effective management of an organization's human capital. And this is where we have the human resource management, which is the core of a system. It looks down from tracking each employee's demographic information, to salaries, tax data, benefits, employment history, and other information when it comes to an employee. So such systems also keep track of performance, evaluations, professional development, and others. Workforce management applications draw on data in the core human resource records, and it adds features to keep track of time and attendance, such as sick leave, vacation leave, project assignments, and all that. So this model is useful for scheduling, workforce planning, and to assign the proper number of clerks to specific shifts in an organization. When we look at the talent management applications, also focuses on the employee's life cycle, beginning with the recruitment phase and extending into performance evaluations, career development, compensation planning, e-learning, retirement or departure, and all this. So the image below just gives us an idea about what talent development dashboard looks like and retention by the department and applicant status and all that. So moving on to some questions that are usually asked. Human resource managers draw on these metrics to assess the impact of their strategy on a company's success. They can also compare their own figures to industry benchmarks. So human capital management systems have transformed how companies approach human resource issues by introducing wealth of data that leads to better decisions and strategies. These are some of the questions that you ask yourself. Do we have a talent we need in our organization? Are the key people leaving? How productive are our employees? And moving on to supply chain management. Supply chain management refers to the strategies that optimize the flow of products and services from their sources to the customer. So depending on your type of business, the chain can stretch from your supplier's supplier all the way to the customer's customer. So the ultimate goal of this is to align the supply with demand so that the right product is delivered to the right place, just at the right time, and also at the right price. When we come down to the supply chain operations reference, it illustrates 5 processes that underline successful management in supply chain. So we have the plan, the source, the make, deliver, and return. So let's start with planning. Planning, for example, if a corporate strategy calls for a low cost leadership, the company will forever cost efficiencies for transportation and inventory storage. And with so doing, all organizations have to have a plan. And when managers make decisions about sources and which suppliers to use, again, the business strategy should be able to guide many sources or choices, such as whether to commit into a long-term contract or encourage frequent or fierce competition among potential suppliers. And the make step transforms the resource into something more valuable. So supply chain managers track inventory at each stage, the fine tuning, the flow, so that some of the parts don't run short while others are overstocked. Managers' keen interest in inventory levels continues through the delivery step. The products are transported to distribution centers and retailers. And finally, supply chain management process returns by customers. So let's move on to the measuring performance. And over here, we do have SCM, which is Supply Chain Management Information Systems, use technology-supported collaborations to improve their visibility for suppliers and customers. And by so doing, the supply chain managers work with the sales and marketing teams to forecast demand for products, drawing on historical sales patterns and marketing campaign plans, advertising budgets, seasonal promotions, and focus groups, democratic shifts, gut instincts. All of these, you can have a lot of them being mentioned when it comes to measuring for performance in an organization. Moving on for IS, which is Information Systems for Supply Chain Management. Supply chain management software involves a specialized tools and applications often developed to address one aspect of supply chain in a single industry. For example, supply chain software might include the supply chain planning, which is a software used to predict demand, synchronize with supply, and optimize the whole network. And we have warehouse management software, which is used to manage and optimize inventories, space allocations, shipments, cross-docking, and other warehouse activities. We also have the transportation management, which is also used to optimize shopping, logistics, and fleet routing and scheduling. We also have the manufacturing execution systems, which is used to manage activities and flow through the manufacturing process. Lastly, we do have the global trade management software, which ensures compliance for cross-border transactions for importers and exporters. So making all these specialized software applications work together is very challenging, but managers need to clear end-to-end picture of supply chain performance, and increasingly vendors are building software that combines several supply chain management applications that share data. And by so doing would definitely help an organization grow beautifully and productively. Um, let's go to the technology for supply chain. So the secret to excellence in supply chain management is collaboration, which comes in other forms. It can be internally among units and externally with partners, your suppliers, and your customers. So, for example, um, the EDI, which is also known as electronic data interchange, which since like the 1970s have been in has been in existence, helps to improve visibility about orders, inventories, and data that partners with a chain that partners in a chain that needs to share. So the approach to bridge building, which predates the internet, often relies on private network, and it is time consuming to set up too, but it improves supply chain performance and also tends to lock the partners into relationships, having spent so much time and energy building that data bridge. So companies are likely to switch partners when it comes to this. And when we look at the blockchain based transactions, they are transparent and they are stored up on multiple servers. So There are many different companies involved in the supply chain. Each record events, they show them and trust their accuracy. And looking at the sensing technologies, for example, improve visibility during transit and in storage. So we have commercial shippers that deploy a handheld wireless scanners to read on packages and upload the tracking number, the date, the time, and the place to service upon delivery. And we should also have the global positioning systems, which is also called the GPS, that are crucial or critical features of navigation and transportation of systems. So these devices receive signals from satellites that orbit from the Earth, and they transmit time and location data. So the GPS receiver computes its own 3D location based on the distances from the 3 or 4 closest satellites. And looking at robotics, which also innovations in robotics are also making important contributions to supply chain. Robots works in warehouse and distribution centers to store and to remove cases and also pick and receive goods for shipment. Such robots lower costs by reducing the staff needs, and in some settings their use require far less warehouse space because shelves can be located closer together. So, and robots are taking over the most difficult and tiring jobs for humans, such as loading, unloading trucks containing heavy boxes. Ordinarily, it can take about 2 people or 3 people to offload just one truck, but with the help of robots, one person can oversee the unloading of several trucks at the same time. And the robots can work steadily for many hours before they require recharging, unlike humans that need to take breaks in between in order to regain their energy. And moving on to the collaboration and sensing, we do have under the collaboration, we do have internal and external and electronic data interchange, which we spoke about earlier in the other slide, which is also known as the EDI. We do have the electronic market, and when we come to sensing, we look at the radio frequencies, which is also known as the RFID. We also look at the global positioning systems, which we just took a look at the previous slide, which is also known as GPS. So let's move on to the customer relationship management. Customer relationship management covers the strategies, processes, and information systems in an organization that an organization uses to build and maintain relationships with its current and prospective customers. So those who have direct interactions with their customers, such as the sales reps or customer support staff, are on the front lines, mostly in an organization. So we do have customer retention, which looks at attracting new customers is often more difficult and expensive than retaining the existing ones, and the new customers may be less profitable than the old. So strategies for improving retention, stress, customer satisfaction. We look at loyalty, rewards, and perks for returning customers. And we look at profitability, which looks at finding ways to reduce the cost of serving each customer. So without also diminishing customer satisfaction, it's another important customer relationship management goal. For example, a customer who calls FedEx to ask what happened to her package is costly in terms of human resource time, but the same query submitted to the company's website cost FedEx just pennies to answer that question. So we'll move on to revenue, which looks at how customer relationship management strategies to grow revenue often include finding new customers and markets, as well as earning more revenue from existing customers through tactics and cross-selling and upselling. We'll move on to the listening to customers, which tells how when customers answer one of your surveys, the CRM software can easily capture and analyze what they say. But some systems can also do segment analysis, like with a software that scans the text command boxes, the blogs, the social media, and other generated content, and employees' algorithms to classify opinions on the pros and the cons or the neutral things they normally say. Moving on to the CRM technologies, we'll look at the email marketing, which looks at e-marketing information systems that also provide extensive tracking capabilities with detailed reports about customer relations, showing them how many opened the messages or forwarded the messages. You can link it to an email tracker, whereby now you could have that installed on your computers, and you can easily track which email has been opened and which email has been ignored and which email has been forwarded and which email has been responded to. We look at the sales force automation, which boosts performance of an organization's sales rep by helping them track and manage their account. The customer service support looks at the click to chat features, which is now mostly widely used and interact with customers without having to have login problems and other issues. We have the mobile CRM, which most airlines offer in their own apps. That may include capabilities of booking flights and checking and all that. Enterprise resource planning provides a solid integrated back end that supports the company's core functional requirements. So typically it includes the financial and assets management, the human resource management, if applicable, like manufacturing, increasing the ERFs, the CRM, the SCM, and many other applications that create a support planning or a support enterprise resource planning. So for example, we have examples of sub-business suite offers adding artificial intelligence, electronic document management, and other more. So with the ERPs, it looks more at the support back office businesses process and the models and the applications that are involved. We have the integration strategies, which looks at the suite, the best of breed, the middleware. And implementations issues. When it comes to the implementation issue, research shows that many ERP implementations go over budget and they take longer than expected. So we have the first one being the high budget or being too expensive, and we have the second one being difficulty to launch all models, and we have the third one being extensive training for employees to align So ERP requires people throughout all organizations to change the way they handle processes. So extensive training before going live is key. The ERP's ways of dealing with other particular processes may be quite different from the organization's old way of doing stuff. Still on it, we do have the SaaS, which also is known as software as a service. It looks at products in which companies pay subscription fees to access the vendor's software in the cloud via the web. We have the small and medium-sized business with limited IT budgets that are especially interested in this model because they can usually get up running more quickly. You don't need their own data center. So although SaaS has many advantages, security and privacy are significant concern when it comes to this. We'll move on to the ERP, which we've also looked at from the previous slides, but it looks at enhancing operational efficiencies and reduce the cost, whereby the key ingredients is that the organization's employees actually change the way they work to take the best advantage of an integration system. So there's also the pros and the cons when it comes to this. So this is something to go by when you're looking at a case study in Ghana. We have the Ghana Gov online case study, which looks at a single digital service revenue collection and platforms for government of Ghana services. So this is just an example when it comes to supply chain management, and we can just take a look at certain websites that aligns to it. Same as Netflix ERP case. Netflix as a pioneer in DVD rental and video streaming companies enjoyed tremendous success around the world. Like, since it's available almost in every country, the company benefits from some of these most advantaged big data analytics to continue to improve each other's viewer experience on platform. So Netflix enjoy customer relationships and supply chain management systems that are working that are world class and highly customized to its unique business needs. So Netflix need when it comes to back-end financial and human resource management, that were complicated mix of 11 different applications with different interfaces. Netflix needed a modern ERP with these two models, especially because the company takes some unusual approaches to talent management. So they did take advantage of this and to speed wide or to get their company or their organizations on a broader view or a wider network. So this brings us to the end of the lecture. Thank you for listening and see you next time.